Rights Forum dedicated to the International Human Rights Day took place on Wednesday at the Parkin Hotel in Baku. The forum was organized by the Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety, international media support and the British Embassy in Baku. Representatives of civil society, the mass media and the diplomatic corps participated in the event. IMS program manager Gulnara Akhundova welcomed the participants and congratulated them on International Human Rights Day. The head of IRFS, Emin Huseynov, said that the authorities and Ombudsman ignored the invitation to the forum. Such a position seems strange amid calls of Ilham Aliyev about the need for a dialogue with the opposition, which he made during the recent meeting with representatives of the media, said the director of Turan news agency Mehman Aliyev. The absence of members of the authorities demonstrates their unwillingness to dialogue, he said. Then the floor was given to foreign speakers, who noted the importance and role of the UN Declaration on Human Rights in the formation of the modern democratic world. Universal human rights are important for the UK, and so we are pleased that today's forum will discuss issues of freedom of speech, expression and assembly. Symbolically, yesterday the world said farewell to Nelson Mandela, who gave us an example of how human rights and freedoms are winning in all circumstances, said the British ambassador to Azerbaijan Irfan Siddiq. U.S. Chargé d'Affaires in Azerbaijan Derek Hogan said that America supports the principles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that every citizen, regardless of religion and ethnicity, has universal rights. During her visit to Azerbaijan in June 2012, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said that the United States considers political reforms important. We urge Azerbaijan to ensure the right to freedom of assembly, association, expression and media pluralism so that people can freely express their thoughts. We hope that pluralism will be the foundation for your young state and we will contribute to the prosperity of Azerbaijan in this field, said the diplomat. Nils Muizhnieks, Council of Europe Commissioner for Human Rights, in a video address to the forum, called for decriminalization of defamation in Azerbaijan. Decriminalization is important, so we, with the OSCE representative on freedom of the media Dunya Mijatovic, monitor the situation and are concerned about it. Government should also put an end to restrictions on freedom of assembly, especially on the eve of the country's chairmanship of the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe, said Muizhnieks. Describing the situation in Azerbaijan in the field of freedom of speech, Program Manager for the Media Rights Institute Khalid Agaliyev said that in the absence of a law on defamation, courts continue to make inadequate decisions against journalists. He noted that the law on defamation is unnecessarily delayed and debated for about 12 years. This view was confirmed by the Deputy Chairman of the Press Council Mushfiq Al-Askarli, who recalled that the Press Council, with the assistance of the OSCE, prepared a bill and submitted it to the Parliament in 2011. We also believe it is necessary to adopt this document, although not all the mass media are ready for this, he said. Seriousness of the problem concerning the freedom of assembly was observed by the chairman of the Democracy and Human Rights Resource Center Asabali Mustafayev, who noted that as a lawyer, he took part in more than 100 trials for participants of public rallies. Thousands of people were subjected to administrative penalties and fines and dozens were arrested, he said. Emphasis was also placed on the attempts of authorities to restrict the activities of civil society, in particular the mass denial of registration of NGOs or pressures on them. Our organization, like more than 100 of others, was illegally denied registration, said the chairman of Human Rights Club Rasul Jafarov. According to him, despite of the pressure, his organization continues to work and on October the 10th published a list of 142 political prisoners. One of the NGOs suffering from government pressure is the Election Monitoring and Democracy Studies Center, against whom the Attorney General's office launched a criminal investigation immediately after the October's presidential election. Its chairman Anar Mammadov pointed to a dangerous trend in the country where the laws on NGOs, the mass media and the freedom of assembly was emasculated to the level of Central Asia and Belarus. Journalists from the pro-government newspapers says and in Azerbaijan try to challenge the existence of problems in the field of human rights and the media, indicating the government's successful accomplishments and care provided for every citizen by the state. In conclusion of the forum, IRFS chairman Emin Huseynov called on the Azerbaijani government to implement 175 recommendations and observations of UN on human rights that were submitted to Baku in May this year. For representatives of the pro-government media, there is no need to assume the role of advocate, as the Azerbaijani government has agreed to almost all the recommendations and observations of the UN, Huseynov said.